Hello and welcome to Jupiter's Love. I am your girl, Talk About It's Kina, and that is my lovely king over there.
Point
Or
away. Yep, there you go.
yeah, okay. The way I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Well, I'm iconic. Ikonik. Back
So,
at it.
today we are going to be talking about effective communication and conflict resolution strategies for healthy relationships. So we're going to go over 10 tips um, for conflict resolution and communication, which I think we've nailed. So, this one is kind of big. This one, I think, honestly, may go over 30 minutes because I think communication is huge. And so you can't just squeeze that in 30 minutes. I mean, you could try. We're going to try. The first one we're going to talk about is practice active listening. Pay attention to what your partner is saying. Ask clarifying questions and show empathy and understanding.
Hold up. That's number one.
Yeah, they're
What?
not in particular order. Let's just start there.
Okay, I forgot the question.
Oh my goodness, it's not really a question. What are your thoughts? What would you say how we've applied practice active listening, paying attention to what your partner is saying, asking clarifying questions, and show empathy and understanding.
Well, I definitely wasn't active listening earlier. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. Um, I'm be honest. The question is over my head or a statement, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. Um,
You want me to drive this one?
no, I got it.
You should
Um,
drive. No, I'm kidding.
uh, First thing is being being what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, don't forget that you're in a conversation with your loved one. Like if you ask a question or whatever, stop talking and let them answer it. Because or be mindful that you're talking, you're asking a question and you're asking a question, but then most people tend to keep on talking, and then 5 minutes later, well, are you gonna answer my question? Well, hell, you didn't stop talking and let me answer it.
Yeah.
I forgot what the question is. So you got to be mindful of allowing the other person to speak, because doing a 10-minute run on and then expecting that person to remember everything you wanted to know within that 10 minutes is just not feasible. And then you're going to get even mad. See, you're not hearing me, and that goes on both ends. So just being mindful that, hey, you said something, pause, let the other person talk, speak, and then that other person be mindful of not doing the same thing and just speak on it and then pause and let the other person speak.
Yeah. Um, I would say even with just allowing them to speak, for this one, it's really you can't listen if you're trying to overtalk that person. So with practicing active listening, you want to hear everything that person is saying. And then if you're not understanding what they mean by something they say, then you ask those clarifying questions to get a pure understanding of what they're saying. Um, People always are so quick. My kids are the main ones that do it for me. They always want to have a response before you even finish. And it's like, you ready to have a set response, but your response doesn't fully apply to what I was initially trying to say. So you're going left field with something that didn't have to go left field. And I've even, just even with friends, it's like people want to cut you off and not listen. They want to think they know what you're about to say. And then they say something and it's like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I was trying to say. So making sure that you are actively listening and asking those questions so you get a clear understanding of where things are going, um, when you're having conflict. Number two
Hold
is,
on, I wanna piggyback a little bit. Okay, that what you said also comes from like when they cutting you off. It also comes from um what I just said. People will talk and talk and talk, and then it's like they um they want to answer that question, but the other person is talking, so we it's almost like we grow up in a society like that, like we're always, ooh, it might be Western type too,
yeah,
and that's a little inside thing or whatever, but it's hear me, don't respond to me, but then it's like, well, how can I not respond to you when I have questions? So it's just being mindful on both parts.
yeah.
And
And speaking on the Western thing that you said is really, I remember a particular time that we were told, we can't respond to the things that we were being taught. You can't ask questions about what you're being told you have to believe in. So um,
mhm,
I think that does come into play a little bit there. Moving on to number two, use I statements. Express your feelings and concerns using I statements instead of you statements. This can help avoid blame and defensiveness. So I'm going to take this one because I really had to, for me, this is taking ownership. So if you say, I came at this situation wrong, I looked at it wrong, it's taking the you did this, you did that, and saying, okay, maybe I was wrong in how I understood what you were saying. Instead of, if I say you, and I'm pointing the finger at you, now you're getting defensive because I'm blaming you and I'm not taking ownership in how I handled the conversation.
mhm. Yes, yes. I had put that on my Facebook post. That and it was one sided, but that's only because I'm a man, and I was um I was speaking to the women that was on my page, and I said, Women, men find it, men. Well, I forgot what I said or whatever, but here's a synopsis of what I said. Men find it sexy when women hold themselves accountable, and that's just it. Like, yes, you're mad at me, but what's the part that you play in it? Like, even if it's a small um harmful part, like it's still had a part,
Yeah.
you know. Like, I look at engines. I like engines. I don't know if I would want to build one like I had that passion for some years ago, but the whole engine runs, but just one small sensor can just mess it up. So that one small sensor is the equivalent of, even if it's the harmful, not harmful, or the harmless part that, say for instance, you would play, like that one part that you played in it made me think or respond, or let's say pick up the wrong item, because I'm assuming that one small harmless part that you spoke of, that you're being accountable for, had me, like, if you've had chicken, well, I just got you chicken, but you forgot to tell me you wanted only breast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it,
So
it could be
well,
anything.
Yeah, I blew up because I wasn't specific. And instead of me saying, okay, well, I should have communicated that correctly, I'm blaming you because you brought home the wrong thing.
Right, right. And that's just small, but people got to understand that them small things can cause big problems, you
Yeah.
know.
Number three, take a break. If the conflict becomes too heated, take a break and come back to the discussion when you're both calmer. And I think this kind of plays into the question you asked before, yesterday actually, of what happens if you can't come to a resolution? What
Mhm.
happens if you can't solve it? And what I said was the problem's always going to be there until it is solved. If one person is upset about a situation, it's always going to be a situation until there's some resolution. And so taking a break and saying, okay, look, we both at 1,000, so we need to wait till we get back down to like a five before we touch this conversation again. That way, things aren't being said that you don't mean, or you're like, okay, this isn't working, you're not hearing me, you're not listening, so I'm just going to walk away, because usually that's kind of how it goes. Or someone feels like they're not being heard or understood, and so the conversation goes somewhere it shouldn't. So taking a break, I think, is important.
Yeah, it is. Hell, we had this maybe a week ago, probably within in a week where we wasn't, we wasn't fully eye to eye or whatever, or and we was like, yeah, and when we kind of took a small break. You don't remember?
Yes, I remember.
Okay,
It got resolved. We didn't brush it under the rug.
right. But we did take a break.
Yeah. And you need that, because otherwise it's going to be like, yep, nope. It's
Hmm.
like touching a hot stove. You touch it once, it's hot, you don't want to touch it again. And so if you don't take a break, it's going to be like, yep, I'm just done. I'm not going to do this. Um so moving forward, number 4, avoiding using negative language. Avoid using words that are hurtful or negative towards your partner. Instead, focus on the issue at hand. And I think we've done this, been really good about this over the years. We've never really said, you stupid B, or you MFer, you're dumb, you're stupid. I think we've been very careful with not putting each other down and using harsh words towards each other.
Yeah, and not even with the hard, well, like name calling or anything like that. It's also with, speaking on things that um are sensitive to the other person.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just watch your mouth.
Right. Um, Number 5, use humor. Humor can help lighten the mood and diffuse tension during conflict. Just make sure humor is appropriate and not hurtful. And I gotta say, my lovely husband over here, humor is just there regardless. And it does help at times, even when I'm upset and he want to say something funny, and I'm just like, I want to be mad, and you just cracking jokes, and I'm just like, really, like.
Hmm.
But it does help, kind of, because sometimes things are not as serious as we make them, and so you throw that humor in there to kind of break it up, and it's almost like shocking you back, like, okay, just calm down, not that serious.
Speaking of shocking, you ever been by a socket lately? No, just
Get
kidding.
out of here. Just like, just go somewhere, just go night night. We turn the
Mm-hmm.
camera on you, we kicking you out the studio.
Mm.
Look,
Like,
no.
no, you trying to work it out?
It does say kick from studio and banned from studio.
Oh, wow, no. Um, it was one thing she was being serious about, and she had said something and whatever, and I was like, well, I forgot what I said, but it had something to do with um me holding your butt or whatever. Remember? You was like, "Don't you say it? Don't you say it? I
I
know
don't.
what you're gonna say. Don't you say it?"
What
And then
was
I
that?
said, then I was like, "Well, tell me what's on my mind." And you was
Oh,
like, you was
yeah.
gonna say
That was,
something about my butt.
yeah. He couldn't even deny it.
Nah.
Knew that's what he was. I just knew. I
Mm-hmm.
already knew. Um, so number 6 is find common ground. Look for areas of agreement and build on those to find a solution to the conflict. And I wish around this time last year, we had just, I was still kind of dating this Sagittarius number 2 dude, and or it was kind of fizzling out. I wouldn't even say we were dating. We were really just getting to know each other. Um and
Because I
it was,
don't think y'all even met each other.
no, we had never met. It was a plan. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember if we had each other's numbers, to be honest with you. Um I don't think we had each other's numbers. Maybe we did. I really don't think we got that far. I think we had each other's numbers in the little Facebook dating thing, but we never really used them because dude just disappeared. Um, but I wish that at that time frame we could have been recording and having what we were kind of trying to solve our past, if we could have had it on camera, because we really touched on finding those common grounds and going with those. So like if I took if I found myself taking ownership of something, then we our conversation kind of built off of that. So if I was like, I didn't communicate how I felt at times, or I didn't let you know how I felt when A, B, or C happened. We really had many days of finding solutions to things that we had conflict on. And the solution really was just taking ownership of where we went wrong in situations in the past. Um, So, yes. And then that kind of moves into number 7 of compromise. Both partners may need to make compromises in order to resolve the conflict. So, be willing to find the middle ground. So, I'm trying to think of a situation where we had to compromise on something. Do you
Like
recall
something big or
anything? Um, I don't recall offhand. Um, can you hear DJ?
yeah.
My nephew, who is a Sagittarius, loves his car games. He loves driving. So he's probably driving his invisible vehicle right now,
Um
playing this game.
I
Um
mean, we have small compromises like time frame due to the times, your hour, your soon to be 2 hours um
yeah,
behind me.
that's a gross compromise, because
Yeah.
even being an hour different is enough. But
Mm.
being 2 hours different, it messes the whole schedule up, because if I feel like I'm being cheated out of time, because like right now it's an hour difference, it's not horrible. Like if we're both going to bed at 10 o'clock, my 10 o'clock turns into 12 o'clock for him. So really it then we have to adjust to 8 o'clock being bedtime, if we we're just saying that. And I'm like, okay, 8 o'clock, that I'm being cheated, because then in the morning I'm losing 2 hours in the morning too. So yeah, that 2 hour time frame is jacked. I don't like it. But
Yeah.
we've lived through it. We compromised. So
Yeah, and we have that expectation of where we're going, where we're gonna end up at.
yeah. And a lot of that, even with you saying that, I think for me, he knows that I will push and push and push and work really hard. And he'll be like, okay, get away from the computer. You deserve a break. You deserve a day off. And just knowing that our end goal is being under the same roof. And, like one of my goals right now is passing my state exam. And so I will push and I'll study and I'll overstudy, because once I get over that first big hump from there, it's smooth sailing. So I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do this, and study. I'm going to take this test and my schedule will be full. And he'll be like, nope, calm down, back up, take a break. And sometimes I'll be dragging my feet and I don't want to.
Baby, you deserve. Uh, that's all I got.
Yeah, no. Number 8 is practice forgiveness. Holding on to grudges and resentment can harm the relationship in the long run. Practice forgiveness and move on. And I'm just going to say flat out, do not say you forgive someone if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it, because you're still going to be looking at that person with resentment regardless of what that situation is. So if you're holding on to something for a long time, like I can bring up a situation where I felt like I didn't have my husband's support when I had broke my hand, and I resented him a lot of the times because I still had to drive and I had to do things that I didn't want to do, but I felt like I was forced to do because I didn't have my husband's support. And so I held that against him for a long time, and I had to be like, okay, you know what? Is over, is done with, move on, forgive. You're not really forgetting. You don't have to forget, because people will say forgive and forget, and that's just unrealistic. No one's forgetting anything. But forgiving kind of frees you. And so when we had our time frame of like literally 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks of just kind of putting these things on the table, it was freeing for me.
Yeah, I mean, and it was, and it all had to do with communication. Like, I didn't know she was. She felt like that, even though she was at that time we was arguing back and forth, not seeing eye to eye. Um, I thought I was doing what I was needing to do. Um, and we worked it out. We talked it out.
I think a lot of it is just kind of um revelation of seeing like, okay, kind of pulling yourselves outside of the situation and looking at it from the outside and saying, okay, we can see where we went wrong, but not saying, okay, well, you did this wrong. More again, going back to the I did this wrong. So yes, seeing that, yeah, I could have handled that better. I could have used my words better. I could have, instead of just having attitude and expecting this person to read my mind, I could have said what was on my mind. So being very clear will help you to get to that point of forgiveness, because then you're putting everything on the table so that you both can work through those situations and forgive each other. Um,
Not
and
to mention how much do you love that person? How much do you love that person to forgive them or not to forgive them? Like, do you love that person enough to say, you know what? Yeah, I forgive you. Let's move on. Or do you not love that person enough to be like, no, this is undoable. But I guarantee you, if you say you love them, then you got to know that, hey, this comes with the territory of love. So if you don't love that person, I'm a firm believer in not using the word love. I'm be
mhm.
if
And
you
I
if
think I just wrote it down. I think we should have a video on the difference of love versus lust, because I think people will say, yeah, I love this person, I love this person, but I think that love is conditional, and I think that's where the lust comes in at.
Love is conditional. Well, yeah, in some cases.
I'm not saying the love is conditional. I feel like people are in lust and they label it as love, but because it comes with conditions is what makes it the lust versus the love.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Love shouldn't be conditional. So lust is I love you because you do A, B, and C for me. But if you don't do A, B, and C for me, then I don't love you. You are in lust with what this person can do for you.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that makes you happy is what they can do for you. So I definitely want to talk about love versus lust because I think so many people have that so confused. Um, and I might even put that on my other channel too, um, under self love, because recognizing the difference is important. Um, Number 9, we're actually doing good with our 30 minutes. Number 9, take responsibility. Be willing to take responsibility for your part in a conflict and apologize when necessary. And I think for me, this was big because I had to say, I apologize for how I made you feel. I apologize because I came at you sideways. I apologize because I expected more from you than I expected from you without allowing you to say, yes, I'm able to do that. Or no, I'm not. I expected you to do something because you're the man and you're supposed to be the head of the household. I expected you to communicate properly. So being able to apologize for those um, situations and being responsible. Like I could have put, I could have said, no, I'm not taking responsibility for anything that happened. That was all on you. That would have been, we would not be sitting here right now if we didn't take responsibility for situations in the past. Um, and I think what just came to me is even people that I know have accepted. You okay over there?
And it's like something on my neck and I can't get it.
um People allow situations and things to happen and then they get upset. They don't properly communicate that they feel some type of way, and then when they do, the other person doesn't take responsibility for their actions, so nothing is resolved. I don't think that problem we don't have that problem now because we are very open about the things that we do, like our communication. We don't really argue. We've had few tiffs up and but nothing major. But I think a big part of it was last year, being able to take responsibility for our actions in the past. Get out of here. Moving on, number 10. Now, this one I'm going to say use with caution. So, number 10 is seek outside help. If the conflict is too difficult to resolve on your own, seek the help of a counselor or therapist to help you work through your issues. Now, I'm going to say use caution because number one, the first thing we usually do is run to our friends. And that is where we fail because even watching the show Family or Fiance, there was an episode I watched where a guy would go to his friends and kind of complain about his fiance. And then now all of a sudden his friends have an issue with the fiance and how she argues or lashes out, how she expresses her anger. And then when they had a chance to sit down with the fiance and really ask her, like, why do you lash out? Why are you always arguing? Because that's our boy. And, we don't like how you treat him. When she broke it down and she said, I don't have my mom. My mom rejects me. She's here, but we don't have a good relationship. And we always argue. And the fact that my dad passed away. And so I don't have anyone. She was lashing out because she couldn't really express her emotions because she felt like she couldn't express her emotions to her fiance So when they saw that side, they're like, okay, now we get it. We understand and we sympathize with you. So do not, yes, you want to go to your friends and be like, girl, he did this, he said that. And I am guilty of it. We're both guilty of it. Um, but then you have to backtrack and you have to say, you know what, I said this, but that's not really how it is, or I was upset because this A, B, and C was going on. And if you seek help of a counselor or therapist, make sure you do your background check on that person. Make sure that person is certified to help you in the specific area of your relationship. Do not go to a single person trying to seek help for your marriage, because you're not going to get sound advice.
Yeah. Well, first off, DJ is a bit much right now.
I
Yeah.
know. Give me a second. You go ahead and talk, and I'm going to um
All right.
let me see here. Turn my camera off. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. I'll be right back.
All right. Ooh, I like the profile picture looking so sexy. Um. All right. So one thing also is what she said. Seek out a counselor that can help you with the specific problem or issue that you have in your marriage. But also it goes for your relationship, and even seek help for individual yourself, and you know hopefully your partner seek help as well. Also, I'm gonna be honest, do not seek help from a religious based counselor. A lot of time, my opinion on it is that religious based counselors, um, even though they don't say it, they sometimes come off as one sided, and you need someone that's not gonna be one sided, and they be one sided due to how their religion is and stuff like that. So you really just need a neutral person, um, or a person that's been trained to basically keep out their religion, to that can decipher, or even someone that's good enough to be like, you know what, even though I'm in a religion, I don't have to speak or bring in religion to it. Yeah, look at them lips. Mm. So yeah, definitely keep religion out of your relationship, or keep it separate. I'll say that. Keep it separate, not out of it, but keep it separate, because a lot of time the issues that falls in relationships may not be religious. Let's just keep it a buck, We all are humans. We all have human needs, and religion ain't gonna tell you how to navigate sex, you know, navigate, okay, your son, which is not my blood, is being a hole, like, because 9 times out of 10 they gonna say, well, just pray about it. Praying about it ain't stopping the boy or the girl from doing what's, whatever. So yeah.
Um,
Hi, baby.
Hi. So, is there anything else that you think we kind of missed when it comes to communication and conflict resolution, or any situations that you'd say, okay, we went through this specifically and this is how we handle it?
No, No, not. I mean, not something that we ain't spoke on. Right now, I cannot see anything that we haven't spoke on.
Yeah. I
Just
think
definitely keep it 100, keep it
hmm
unrestricted communication. Like, because 9 times out of 10, like, you will nip it in the bud before it become a big old hole in the relationship.
yeah.
You know.
Um no, I agree. Keeping it 100, being open and honest about how you're feeling, because like someone came to me yesterday that they were feeling a certain type of way, and the advice that I gave them was be honest about how you're feeling. Don't sugarcoat how you're feeling. If you feel um a certain way, if something is triggering you, don't lie about that trigger, or else you'll always have that problem. So if your partner wears pink and it just triggers you, don't lie and say, well, when you wear colorful clothes, it just bothers me. No, say when you wear pink, it bothers me. Um,
But then, like something like that, why does it bother you?
right.
Why does it trigger you?
Yeah. Getting
You
down to the deeper issue.
right. So
Yeah. So
and
be,
then go ahead.
no, I was going to say, just be honest.
And then after you find out the reason being, um, for the person that is triggered, allowing that the other person, the partner, to be okay with either correcting it or coming to a mutual understanding, like, okay, well, I still like the color pink because like I had a pink shirt, and if you had an issue with it, then I'll just be like, all right, I'll wear it when I'm not around you, or you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
going to the bar, or just being mindful that, hey, even though I like the color or I like the shirt, but it just happened to be pink or have pink in it, you know, I'm gonna go out with the fellas, but I'm gonna wear this shirt.
Yeah.
I'm about to run over to my family house, but I'm gonna wear this shirt.
hmm So yes, being able to compromise with, okay, you can wear that color, just not around me. For the particular question that the person asked, um, I think you really have to be, like you said, get down to the nitty gritty of what is triggering you. So being really honest about why you are bothered, why this particular situation is an issue. If you bring, if I, prime example, I got some breadsticks here. If I bring a half of a breadstick to the table, instead of bringing, here you go, baby, I got a big one for you. Instead of bringing the whole breadstick to the table, don't look like that. If I only bring you half of a situation, or half honesty, half truth, can you resolve something you can't see?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Why we got to bring violence into it?
It's the only way I could cut the bread. After
it
you said, I got a big one for you.
um, I think you're basically blindfolding someone when you don't bring them the truth. And then
Hmm.
you get mad when they don't resolve what you're really feeling. You're supposed to fix it because I brought you this, but I really wanted you to fix this.
Hmm.
Now you mad.
Yeah, you're tying their hands. You're placing the blindfold on them and thinking that they are gonna fix it. And again, no restrictions. You can't tie their hands in the situation, and you can't blindfold them.
Yeah.
You know. We
Yeah.
all have some type of childhood trauma. Maybe it's on different levels and stuff like that. But yeah, we all came from some type.
Yeah. I just think really being honest and open, and I think this more or less would apply more to the second one versus our last video. So if you go watch our last video and then watch this one, um really being honest about your feelings will help you communicate better. Everything is communication. Everything. It all comes back to communication, but it's really just how you communicate. Communication is not just verbal. My husband will be the first one to tell you that I wear my expressions on my face. So if I say, "Yep, I'm fine. It's fine." Is it really fine? No.
Yeah.
So communication is not just verbal. So you have to be mindful. If you say you're okay and someone clearly sees you're not okay, then you still got some growing up to do, in my opinion. If you cannot fully communicate, or for most men, I'm going to say most men, if they're afraid to open up about a situation, or they're afraid to say, "Hey, I made a mistake," without getting their head bit off of, then y'all got a lot of growing up to do. Because I feel like relationships should be able to bring anything to the table and y'all talk and work through it.
Hmm.
Especially, like you said, if you really love that person, you should be able to bring anything to the table and get it resolved.
In the words of John B, don't say what you gonna do. You know you be the first one to come on through. Yes, you will.
What am I thinking right now?
Uh, damn, my hair is big.
I like my fro. I love my fro. I'm gonna try and do the curls next time.
Okay. Love your fro, baby. I love it.
I do. It's like it goes off the screen. My shrinkage is real. Well, I keep pulling the front, so it's the shrinkage ain't real back there. But anyhow,
Hmm.
um, I feel like I look like, what is it, Sideshow Bob?
Or one of them Rugrat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the right, definitely. Well, as I expected, communication definitely went over 30 minutes, but I'm okay with that because it's a big topic that people really have to take in. For me, take in what we're saying, because we've lived this road. We're not giving you, and we're not saying things that we have not been through it. We're not just bringing you some self-help book and we haven't had to deal with self-help issues. We're not bringing you sugar-coated bullshit or shit in general, sugar-coated shit. We're bringing you what we've really been through. If you guys, I mean, we literally went through a divorce and got remarried. So and part of us getting remarried, yes, it was kind of last minute, but it was something that we were both open to, because literally in a 2-week time frame we completely changed our whole relationship around. Just at that time we were just friends, and we turned our whole relationship around. um so I think being able to be open, honest, communicate using these tips um will get you a lot further than just kind of being closed off. Because I feel like if someone's not willing to apply these strategies, they're not in it. They didn't checked out. They've checked out. They want nothing to do with making the relationship better. And again, that's another conversation that needs to be had: is this working? Are we um selling, I don't want to say selling ourselves short, but are we just being honest with ourselves? Some people just cannot do long distance relationships. Some people are not great communicators. They just don't have it in them. So being being aware of what each other needs are. Some people can't do long distance relationships because they need a physical person. Um, they need a body, like need. So, being open about the things that are bothering y'all and getting to the deeper root of things is important. So again, I'm gonna put these 10 strategies in the comments, or not in the comments, in the
Description.
description, and I might put it in the comments. I don't know. Um, I think I want to work on us kind of getting uh, a website together where we can put each topic that we've talked about and put those strategies or whatever it is we talked about, put it under the show title so that people have a place to always go back to outside of YouTube. So eventually it's something to put on the to-do list for the future. So as for now, I am talking about a Takina. That is my lovely king slash husband.
Wait, other way. Yeah, no, no. Point the other way.
I'm pointing at you. Well, okay, so this is weird. So on my phone, I'm pointing at you. That's why I was confused. On my phone, I'm pointing at you. But if I go like this, now I'm pointing at the wall, but now I'm pointing at you. And it
Yes.
literally is the same on my phone and on in the studio. That's weird. That's weird.
Well, I'm your guy, Iconic, and we are Jupiter's love. With that being said, don't ground your love. Let your love be out of this world. And we'll see you.